gang violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police, but I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, shout around? It's the Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, and let's get into the video.
This is breaking news.
Good morning. I'm Lucy Bustamante.
And I'm Kelsey Davis. We start with breaking news. New Orleans police officers are investigating two separate shootings in the St. Roch neighborhood. The shootings happened just minutes apart and left 2 men dead.
So the first one happened on North Miro Street at Mandeville, and Josh Robertson is at the scene of the most recent one, which is in the 1600 block of Franklin Avenue. Good morning, Josh. What do we know?
Well, Lucy, we know that North Miro homicide that you just mentioned, that is about a half mile away from here. And where we are right now is the 1600 block of Franklin at this mini mall, which is called Franklin Plaza, according to the sign. Now, this area is getting more busy, not less busy, because just a few minutes ago, the coroner van pulled up, and so did some of the investigative units, the NOPD investigators, their crime scene investigators. They're on scene now too. About a half dozen NOPD cruisers with their lights on right now. This entire parking lot roped off. And I can tell you, too, one thing I did want to mention, this is still an ongoing investigation. We know one man was shot and killed in this area right here.
Wow, so we're back in New Orleans, who previously in 2021 was the murder capital of the United States. And it doesn't look like it's gotten that much better. We've got political turmoil going on as LaToya Cantrell is actually being indicted at the end of her mayoral reign. So that is going to be a story we're going to cover today, but I just want to show you the violence that is continuing to go on in New Orleans so that you can kind of get perspective as to why there's so much pressure on her, why the hammer is starting to come down on her legally, and why the black community should not be supporting a woman like Mayor LaToya Cantrell, who is in a very similar situation as Fannie Willis was when she was indicting President Trump.
Here at the 1600 block of Franklin, I will tell you, if Jake's panning over to it a little bit, there's a Hoot at Wings and More Express, and we have no idea if that restaurant is in any way related, but I can tell you that one of their glass doors is shattered with glass on the ground, and some of the people who work and own that restaurant are inside right now, and they've also been talking back and forth with investigators, with detectives. So again, this is an ongoing investigation. It's only getting more ramped up because this did happen so recently. About a little over an hour and a half ago. And again, as you mentioned, the other one on North Miro, if we have video of it, if you've already seen it, North Miro in Mandeville is about a half mile away from here and happened less than 10 minutes before the shooting that we're at, the scene that we're at right now. And so I know many people are asking themselves, is this related? We don't know that for sure right now, but I can tell you NOPD did give us the information that they have so far and did say that they don't have it confirmed that these two shootings are related, but because of the vicinity being so close and because of how close in between that these two shootings happened, it is something that they are investigating. And if we do learn more about that, we will let you know as soon as we can. But again, if you're traveling down Franklin Avenue near the St. Roch area, especially in the 1600 block, you want to be very, very careful. I know there's some busy businesses around here that get busy in the morning hours. There's a Quickies discount, a very popular gas station right over here. So just be aware if you are traveling this area this morning, making your commute, you want to be aware that this is a very active scene. You don't want to be driving too fast. Be aware of that. But unfortunately, we can tell you 2 men have been killed from gunshot wounds in separate shootings here in the St. Roch neighborhood this morning. And there's an active investigation for both as we speak. So that's Josh Robertson here right now with the latest. If I learn anything more, we'll update you throughout the newscast. Send it back to you now, Lucy.
All right, Josh, thank you.
Know the identities of the people killed in two deadly shootings that happened just minutes apart in the St. Roch neighborhood. The first happened at 4:15 Thursday morning on North Miro, Mandeville Street. Residents report seeing a man with a walker dead at the bus stop. A coroner has identified that man as 34-year-old Albert Ricancer.
Damn, so they got a man with a walker dead at the bus stop. That's wild.
Rick Hasner. And just before 4:30, police say a person riding a bike was shot and killed on North Claiborne and Franklin.
Dang, person riding a bike, insane.
That victim has been identified as 14-year-old Ja'Karen Scott, despite the close distance and time between the shootings.
14 years old. I mean, come on, what are we doing, community? These super gremlins are on demon time.
Police do not believe they are related. Call Crime Stoppers if you have any information about the person or persons responsible for these shootings.
People are dead after a triple shooting in the Pines Village area of New Orleans East. Officers say they responded to Boeing Street, and that is near Fillmore Avenue, shortly after noon today. There, they found 2 victims dead at the scene, and a 3rd victim was taken to a local hospital in critical condition where they later died. Investigators say the shooting stemmed from a domestic dispute. Police are working to identify a suspect.
New Orleans police are investigating a triple homicide in the Pines Village area. This happened on Boeing Street, and that is where WDSU reporter Jasmine Franklin heard exclusively from grieving family members. Jasmine is live tonight at NOPD headquarters with how they're processing all of this right now. Jasmine.
Yeah, well, Elizabeth, tonight family members are just emotional and heartbroken after learning their loved one was shot and killed. Police tell us this all unfolded this afternoon after a domestic incident in New Orleans East.
I just can't believe he's gone.
Family members of Esvin Carrera stand with heavy hearts, learning the father was one of 3 victims killed in a shooting. His ex-wife still in shock after getting a call no one wants to receive.
When I got the phone call saying what happened, I lost it. I'm in shock right now. I can't believe it.
Police say the shooting unfolded Sunday afternoon after a domestic dispute on Boeing Street. According to NOPD, a 50-year-old woman and another man whose age has not been released yet died at the scene. And a 31-year-old man later died from his injuries at a nearby hospital.
I hope that there will one day be a time in our city when we don't have this type of traumatic event.
Yeah, and it's not happening anytime soon. It doesn't appear to. New Orleans is in a very bad situation when it comes to crime. They have a lot of teens committing crimes, and they have a lot of grown-ass adults committing crimes. And this triple homicide is just another example. I mean, how many times are you hearing about a triple homicide? Absolutely ridiculous, doesn't make sense, but this is what the city of New Orleans has come down to under Mayor LaToya Cantrell's leadership.
That affects so many people.
Councilman Eugene Green says he hopes people find better ways to resolve conflict.
Even though crime is down in our city and homicides are down, there's still too many families affected by death and by violence.
The victim's son is heartbroken, losing his dad.
I don't really know what to say. I'm just like heartbroken right now and speechless.
Tonight, NOPD says the shooting remains under investigation. Now, there's no word yet on any suspects. We'll continue to bring you new updates as we learn more, but for now, reporting live outside of NOPD headquarters, I'm Jasmine Franklin, WDSU News.
Yeah, really.
What's good, Shadow Realm? It's your boy Jenquavius Jackson, and y'all already know I'm demonetizing shadow banning this bitch. So if you want to contribute, go to the Cash App, the PayPal, the GoFundMe, or join the Patreon. Also, don't forget to visit the merch store for all your favorite BGZM News 17 gear, including our exclusive Trump is a Blood t-shirt. Go fast before they sell out. They are already flying off the shelves, no cap. And remember, these super gremlins are on demon time.
New Orleans Mayor LaToya Cantrell has been indicted by a federal grand jury, along with her former bodyguard and alleged paramour, Jeffrey Vappy. Good evening and thanks for watching. I'm Devin Bartolotta. Tonight, the mayor's office has responded with a statement. It reads, the city of New Orleans is aware of today's indictment against Mayor Cantrell. The mayor's attorney, Eddie Castang, recently received the information and is thoroughly reviewing the document. Until his review is complete, the city will not comment further on this matter. The 45-page federal indictment outlines conspiracies to conceal Cantrell's relationship with Vappy, who was assigned to her executive protection unit, with Vappy getting paid for the time they spent together.
Wow, so looks like LaToya Cantrell is in yet another scandal. We've covered multiple scandals that she's been in during her tenure as mayor. Now she is caught up with a lover that is on her staff, just kind of like Fannie Willis was. And these sister girl mayors and women in leadership are completely they're avoiding their duty and their oath to office and just desecrating the what it's supposed to mean to be a mayor with all the corruption that they're involved in. Some people might think this is petty and whatnot, but it's more about how she's using taxpayer funds to fund their relationship, just like Fannie Willis was doing. So these women, you know, we like to talk about men being too hot in the pants and not being able to control their D. Well, when these women get power, they can't control their own private parts, and they allow, you know, their lust and, you know, just their want for adoration and love, that yearn that they have to be fulfilled. They're allowing that to, you know, cloud their better judgment.
In a relationship described as personal and intimate at dinners in New Orleans and on trips abroad. The indictment says they treated the Pontalba apartment as their personal shared residence, with Cantrell often referring to it as, quote, our apartment. WWL Chief Investigative Reporter David Hammer starts our breaking team coverage.
Shocking day and a historic day because, as you said, this is the first federal criminal charges filed against a sitting mayor of New Orleans, Mayor LaToya Cantrell, still in office for about 5 more months. And the indictment, 45 pages, details 18 criminal counts, 12 counts specifically against the mayor, including conspiracy, false statements, and obstruction of justice. The grand jury alleges Cantrell and Vappy began an intimate relationship around October 2021. They used their official city positions to spend time together, while Vappy claimed to be on duty providing mayoral security. This included false time cards, false travel expense forms, and misuse of taxpayer-funded trips, costing the city of New Orleans over $70,000 just for Vappy's expenses. Now, they allegedly concealed the relationship and gave false statements to the FBI and a federal grand jury. Vappy submitted time cards claiming to work full shifts while actually engaged in personal activities with Cantrell, the indictment alleges. And Cantrell signed off on false travel expense forms showing trips as purely official business, they allege. And they also allege Cantrell deleted thousands of WhatsApp messages with Vappy, and alleges that Cantrell lied under oath to the grand jury about producing all of the messages that they requested. Now, acting U.S. Attorney Michael Simpson held a press conference just about an hour and a half ago. I was there to ask this question. Take a listen. Did you take pause at all about bringing criminal charges that at the heart are based on a romantic relationship, especially with the first woman mayor of the city of New Orleans?
To me, it's irrelevant that it's romance or that it's female. What is relevant is that it is an incredible breach of the public trust. It's an incredible betrayal of people's confidence in their own government, and it's a violation of innumerable federal criminal laws.
I'm joined now by Matt Chester, a former federal prosecutor who actually helped prosecute former Mayor Ray Nagin the last time that a mayor of New Orleans was indicted. And Matt, we heard Simpson saying at the press conference that this is not about their romantic relationship. This is about violation of innumerable criminal or many criminal laws. What's your reaction as a former federal prosecutor yourself to them basing this, though, on a romantic relationship?
Yeah, I mean, I think both things can be true at the same time, right? There are serious allegations in here. There are allegations of falsification of documentation to get city money. There are allegations of lying to a federal grand jury, lying to federal law enforcement. But at its core, those lies, those activities were about hiding the illicit relationship. So I think both can be true at its core. I view this case as a case where two people had an affair. There was some falsification of documentations, which of course isn't right, and there was lots of steps to cover it up. But in my mind, that's how I view this case.
And as a prosecutor, do you face challenges then bringing a case that is based on morality, so to speak, in terms of an affair, to a jury and try to prove that case in court?
Yes and no. The government's not going to view this case as a morality play, right? The government is going to view this case as falsifying documents, lying to a federal grand jury, lying to federal law enforcement. The defense, if I were Mayor Cantrell's lawyer, would be saying this is just about two people who had an affair for a variety of reasons, mostly personal, I'm guessing. They didn't want it to become public. And so, there's historical examples of juries having sympathy for that sort of a thing. So I think it depends on the perspective that you approach this with, but the government will not view this as morality. I think the defense will play that up.
And again, thank you, Matt. This is going to be the next step of Mayor Cantrell having an arraignment. And again, these are just allegations. They still need to be proven in court. Reporting from Federal Criminal Court, David Hammer, WWL, Louisiana.
A New Orleans legislative body is weighing in tonight. Many on the city council have offered thoughts and prayers to the mayor and her family as they navigate this news. Some went on to say, while this legal battle plays out, they will remain focused on their constituents. A few are urging the public to remember the mayor is innocent until proven guilty. Councilmember Joe Giarrusso emphasized that in his statement, saying, quote, everyone is presumed innocent under the law. Mayor Cantrell deserves that presumption. This unfortunately will be sensationalized because it involves the mayor and will further impede the city's operations. We should, however, let the facts play out and not rush to judgment. We've also heard from some state leaders, including Attorney General Liz Murrill, who said, quote, New Orleans deserves leadership that is honest, accountable, and dedicated to serving the public and making the city safe, clean, and economically sustainable. These are serious charges. I'll be monitoring this matter closely. So far, there's been no response from Governor Jeff Landry on today's historic indictment. We will have more on the federal indictment coming up later in this newscast. You can also find continuing coverage on our website, our free smartphone app, and on our social media pages.
Gang violence and other kind of violence.
I could be at work, at school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police. I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.